Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Hope you're all doing well. This is a Hat Galore once again, where I talk about the recent unusual unboxes in TF2 as well as just all the best stuff within trading. And this week has brought us the very first Sunbeams all-class Misc, and that would be the Polar Pullover. It was unboxed in just 22 crates, but it wasn't the first unusual he got in those 22 crates. He actually managed to get a Fly's Man of Reason and a Vivid Plasma Kabuto before that, and the Polar Pullover was the third one in those three. So, you know, just when he thought he couldn't do any better than the Kabuto, boom, he gets this pullover, and it's already been sold for 140 buds, none of which was pure though, and I honestly felt like a hat like this would easily go for 100 plus in pure buds, but I guess there were no collectors around at the time that had the pure, and he ended up taking a golden frying pan, a green black hole viewfinder, and a time warp polar pullover, so he definitely got a good offer and deal out of it, and I was kind of flattered to have a chat with the guy, and he actually told me that it was my videos that encouraged him to unbox, so congrats to you and well done on the sale. The second ever burning Hive minder was unboxed, and within the first 2 hours of being put on Outpost, it gathered an offer of 20 plus in unusuals, and they were all decent first gen ones. Since then it has had an offer of 19 pure buds as well as a burning voodoo juju, so definitely a hat that has gathered quite a lot of attention, and it's still on Outpost, so it'll be interesting to see what it sells for. The guy has a buyout currently of 20 buds, so yeah, congrats on the unbox. The recently turned all-class Merc's Mohawk was unboxed with the antifreeze effect, and it was sold for 40 pure buds in less than 2 days, and this isn't an effect I thought I would talk about much in my Hat Galores, just because it doesn't get unboxed very often, and there's, you know, when it is unboxed it's not usually on high tier hats, so this is obviously a very high tier hat indeed, and you know, the fact it was sold for 40 pure, it has to be talked about. So for those of you that don't think there's a demand for Robo Effect unusuals, you're definitely wrong, and definitely congrats to you buy two on the sale, and congrats to EFF for buying it. As much as I love seeing new hats with first gen effects unboxed, it's always nice to see an old hat unboxed as well, and this week we had a Sunbeams Tough Guys Toque unboxed, and this is one of the oldest hats for the heavy, and the guy is asking for the cheapest price in Outpost, of that being 5.5, so I'm kind of surprised it's not sold already, though it has only been on the market for a couple of days now. The first Green Energy Daz Madden Doctor was unboxed by a friend of mine, and I'm kind of surprised that it's not fetching more attention. I'm not trying to help out his trade or anything, but yeah, I just honestly thought that, you know, these hairstyle unusuals would be getting more attention, mostly because of the games I've played in the past, and I think I've mentioned in previous videos where, you know, new haircuts and styles were introduced to the game, and there was so much hype behind it. But I guess TF2 is all about hats, and it is worth probably mentioning that a Sunbeams one of these exists, as well as a Purple Energy one, and the Purple Energy one last sold for 6.5, so it'll be interesting to see if the Green Energy one fetches much more than that. A Purple Energy Brimful of Bullets was unboxed, and it's a fairly new sniper hat in my opinion, and I was kind of surprised to see him asking such a low buyout, though Green Energy was last priced at 4.7, and I don't know, I'm always just a little bit surprised when, you know, people unbox these fresh unusuals and they have a reasonable buyout. It's just not a very common thing, so congrats on the unbox, and fair play to you Megatif for, you know, having a good price. The very first Scorching DJANGOOOOO Saharan was unboxed, and I doubt I said that correctly, though this is a hat that's meant to be a hairstyle from the early 1930s and 40s, though it seems increasingly modern and popular, you know, nowadays, to be honest, just sort of slick haired back. Though, you know, honestly, I think it's a pretty good looking hat for the medic, and if it was unboxed with the Sunbeams, I'd probably be interested myself, and this guy's claimed to have already had an offer of 13 pure buds, so that's not visible on the trade on Outpost itself, so it'll be interesting to see what this goes for, and you know, it's gathered some attention, not as much as I thought, as I said earlier, but yeah, we'll see what it gets. Another very hyped hat this week was the Burning Tartan Spartan, another one of one hat, and he's been getting quite a lot of offers of 15 to 20 mixed. The fact he's been able to note down on the trade around 20 different offers in just 2 days shows there's a lot of hype for the hat, and he said that he would instantly take 15 buds pure, though, you know, no one's come up with the goods yet, so it'll be interesting to see if that sells. I imagine he will get the 15 pure he's after, and yeah, definitely a decent looking hat, so congrats to you Tri-Asian. The second ever Scorching Spooks Becks Run box, and this is a hat that only took one key to unbox, and the guy's asking for 50 buds pure. It's kind of interesting because the guy that bought the previous one put it back on the market for 100, so I'm not sure if that will affect his price, and I think actually his price now is around 70, so yeah, and it's kind of a similar situation to what happened to the Burning Kiss King. The first Burning Kiss King got unboxed, you know, around a month or two ago, and I think the third buyer ended up putting it back on the market for 100, just like these Scorching Spook specs, and I feel like it's Valve punishing the greedy players by, you know, making other ones of these get unboxed, and obviously, you know, putting up competition for prices, so definitely congrats on the unbox, and I just kind of find it amusing when things like this happen, so The very first Sunbeams cotton head was unboxed, and it's definitely a high tier hat for the pyro, mostly since the burning one sold for 17 buds mixed twice, so that kind of set the stage and price for what these are going to go for. So I imagine it will affect something a couple of buds less. It's already been said probably around 15 on the trade itself. That's what the guy's buyout is though. I imagine it might affect something closer to 10 just because the hype for this hat has gone down a bit, and I do think the burning one was unboxed kind of shortly after the update that brought this out. So definitely congrats on the unbox, Luna, and I wish you get the best offer you possibly can. Creamy Goodness managed to unbox the very first Scorching Danger, which is the highest effect that exists on this hat in game. He's already been offered 19 buds pure if you're counting Max's heads at 3 buds, and you know, he's been getting other offers of 15 and 20 mix, so it'll be interesting to see what this finally goes for. I was kind of surprised that he's not taken the 19 pure offer though. It is worth noting that the Circling Hearts version of this hat sold for 10 pure, and Scorching's quite a bit further up on the tier scale, so definitely congrats to Creamy Goodness. And also a fun fact, this hat was originally submitted in the Steam Workshop with the name The Chemist's Pride, and I guess Valve came up with the name Danger for obvious reasons if any of you have seen the series. Lady Giao managed to pick up a Sunbeams Frontier Justice, and this is a hat that has a lot of hype to it, especially since it's from the film Django, and the last and highest tier effect we've seen on this was the purple energy effect. I think that ended up selling for something around 10 or more buds, and she didn't actually unbox it herself. She paid 2 buds pure and a undisclosed amount of cash. It's not stated, you know, how much she paid in cash, but a lot of people got the wrong idea and thought she only gave the guy 2 buds, which could obviously lead to some unfortunate bannage on a few sites. And yes, I did use the word bannage, though she is quite reputable, and I'm sure it's the case that she gave the guy cash as well. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this goes for. And coming to a close, we had the very first Sunbeams Peaceniks ponytail, which I spelt wrong in the trade because that's how he spelt it in his Outpost trade and I didn't know any better. But this is a hat that took the guy 373 keys since his last unusual unbox, so definitely an expensive hat for him to have unboxed. You know, that's around 20 buds or so. And this hat was actually supposed to be included in the Texas Tech Hand cosmetic set that came to the game through the Love and War update. And if any of you don't know what that set is, it includes the level 3 chin, the Eggheads overalls, and the Lonesome Loafers. So obviously there's not a 4th cosmetic slot, so this couldn't be included, and I guess Valve just decided to take this one out of the set though. They've actually hinted at maybe introducing a 4th cosmetic slot. I don't know the exact post, but there is a blog somewhere where the Demo Man is wearing 4 different cosmetics, so obviously that's an update to look out for in the future, though I imagine they're going to be saving that probably like another year. They've done quite a lot of content, and I think they're pretty sweet for the moment with updates, but I do hope you guys have enjoyed this hat galore. I'm going to leave some of the other hats that are unboxed this week on screen now, and I do want to quickly mention that I've made a new Twitch TV page that I live stream from. It's called twitch.tv/lifewithstrife, which is the same username as my Twitter and Instagram if any of you want to check those out. But there seems to be a problem at the moment on YouTube. It says on the bottom left of my videos in an annotation that I'm live on Twitch when I'm not actually currently live streaming, and they're not even connected accounts, so I'm really not sure why that error/bug is occurring, but I'll look into getting that fixed. I'm going to be streaming maybe 2 to 3 times a week at the moment, and eventually I hope we can kind of work out a schedule. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Sorry that it was a bit shorter than usual. Next door neighbour blasting music, quite hard for me to record audio, but I'm going to be doing a second part to the Q&A next week, or this week coming, as well as a few other videos before I go back to Kent, as I'm going to a wedding, and I just want to spend some time with the family before my summer comes to an end. And yeah, I will see you in a future video, guys. Cheers for watching. Bye.